Alright, alright. So, this is how I would survive every Five Nights at Freddy's game. So, firstly, I wanted to do it in order of easiest to hardest to survive. First up, we got Pizza Simulator. Now, if you look at this, right, we got this guy right here. This is what you're staring at the whole time. And there's problems to your left and right. And I couldn't find the right one without somebody in it, so there's this guy in it. Um, So this is basically the entire layout of of this game. It's a big square box. So my first recommendation is leave the way I came in. All right? Um yeah, if you just leave the way you came in, I'm assuming there's a door behind you because you can see this wall to your left and this wall to your right. There's probably a wall behind you that doesn't have a TV, so just leave the way you came in. Secondly, I was thinking you could move the computer. There is nothing restricting you into this, cramped room with a bunch of monsters in it, except for like the plot of the game, right? Remove that. If it's me surviving, this is me in this situation. I know what I'm walking into. Uh, I'm moving the computer, or getting like a laptop or something, or just buying a new computer and doing it there, right? There's no reason I have to tell people to flush the toilets from inside the ventilation system through a computer, right? I could probably also do half the jobs that the tasks tell me to do, like in person instead of doing it on the computer. It's dumb. Third is buy vent gates. I don't understand why. I'm pretty sure there's like some destroyed stuff around the vents already, like around these edges and stuff. Invest in bigger, stronger ones. Okay, they can see you, they can't get to you. You win. Honestly, I don't. I think the only problem would be Molten Freddy, but his head would be too big. His wires can maybe fit through, but his head wouldn't, right? And if you had like a baseball bat or something, you'd probably also defend yourself. And lastly, I was thinking you could just throw speakers into the vents because like a whole part of it is the sound attraction system. So like why not uh like the first day when you know there's no animatronics, crawl in, throw a speaker in here, throw a speaker in here, and then put the audio lower right there, right? Because if you don't die immediately, that means they're not there and there, and you're good for the rest of the night because they're stupid robots, right? Nextly, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So, in FNAF 3, what you get is Springtrap. Now, think about what Springtrap is logistically, okay? By the time he murders his first kid in like Family Diner, he's already probably like 30 because he's got a kid by then, right? At least like 20 something, like early 20s, all right? And then by the time he gets spring locked, that's probably like 20, 30 years later because they've had multiple restaurants past that point, right? He's probably a man in his 40s to 60s dressing up in this suit, right? Let's go low age, 40s. When they find him, it's been 30 years since they shut down the restaurant. So even if if that's like 15 years in between, this is at the bare minimum a 55-year-old man who has been decomposing for 15 years inside of this metal suit. Honestly, I think you could overpower a 55-year-old man, right? Plus, this is like what I look like, kind of. It's easy. Just attack him. I don't understand why you don't. Next is burn the place down. At the end of the game, you burn it down anyways, so why not get it over with right from the beginning? From what I understand, you're Michael in this game. You're his son, checking to see if his dad's actually here, and you burn the place down anyway, so you clearly don't have good intentions, right? Come here as soon as you see your dad the first night. He's not going to be that hard to beat naturally, right? Just play the game normally. That's what I would do, and burn down the building. And if I come with prior knowledge, I already know he's there. Burn down the building right off the bat. Get the end screen without ever playing the game. You know. Next is sneaks past Springtrap. This isn't even all the cameras. I think every single one of these is divided into two, right? There are 10 cameras around this place, and this is the exit, right? For me to get the exit fast as possible, do 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 do. Or if I'm feeling a little funky, I could. It takes Springtrap like 10, 20 seconds, I think, to get from here to there, which means And he's a 55-year-old man in a giant clunky metal suit. If it takes him 15, 30, 15, 10, 20 seconds to get from here to there, right? I could probably do it in like 3 because I'm not a 55-year-old decomposing corpse inside of a metal suit, right? And if I see him over here, I just sneak out that way. I'm sure I could outrun him because he's a 55-year-old man who is decomposing in a heavy ass metal suit. I think I'm good, right? If I see him this way, just keep crawling. I'm a faster crawler, right? If I'm over here and I see him there, just if I'm here and I see him there, if however I do go through here and he's over here somehow, right? I'll go back. Now, I think it'd be better if I don't go this way because he could cut me off at this point right here through the vent, right? So I think it'd be better if I just went straight through over here. Now, Springtrap probably knows the location, and he knows how to get from. He only ever gets closer to players, so he doesn't know how to go backwards. So there's gonna be a downward thing there and then a thing there, but he'll know about this path here. So I would probably go down, and he would suspect me going up, right? At which point, what I would do is I would come over here, play an audio lure. Uh, shoot. What would I do? I would play an audio lure like here and then here, just lead him back. And then I would escape through here the other way because he'd expect me to come around this way again. So come around back that way. He's still distracted by the audio lure here. If it takes me 3 seconds, this takes me like 5, right? Come over here, boom, escape. It's easy to sneak past. That's what I would do. Uh, Now this one is a little bit of a stretch, honestly, if I had to be real. So there's the whole argument how who would beat who, a trillion lions or the sun. I'm thinking, what if you had a lot of actual children and you're the sun, I guess. No, Springtrap is the sun. So they attack him. That gives you the opportunity to escape through whatever means you want, right? And yeah. So essentially you escape and you live. Anyways, sister location's up next. Firstly, I was thinking you could just stay put if you're in this main location, right? Because you're an employee at a live business. As long as you don't come in after like night 5 or something, or like at night 4 to 5, right? There's gonna be people coming into the place. Now, the big issue is depending on what night, it could be better or worse. Because if Ennard exists at this point, or if the big mass amalgamation that hung those technicians exist, you're kind of fucked. And they're probably gonna kill you as well as the other technicians, right? So that's a big danger. But if you come in night 1, like the technicians the next day are just gonna bring you back because nothing happens on night 1, 2, and 3, I think. So next is a taser. Also, this would not work for the custom night office. Next is a taser. So I was wondering, they're metal robots. What's a metal robot's weakness? And I thought a taser. Tasers do electricity. You could short circuit them or make them like bend their arms really hard and hit themselves in the head. That could work with all of them except for maybe the ballerina ones. Because aren't these guys like made of wood or whatever? Because they're little posing art dolls. But if they are electricity, then you're good. You know. The only ones this really wouldn't work against is like Lolbit or Lolcat. I don't know what her name is, or his name, or and I don't know Yendo if he's real. I feel like he's like a hallucination, right? But even then, he's made of wires, so it could work if it's in your head. And head rules. Next is Outsmart Baby. So towards the end of the game, she tells you to walk this way to get scooped, right? I was thinking, what if, and this could be work in conjunction with the taser, escape this way and leave the building, right? I assume the elevator works on the bottom. That's how we get home. And as long as the taser works long enough for them to not like climb up the vent shaft or whatever, we should be good. And I do understand they find me at the end of the game. If you beat them, if you go this way and you beat them, you do in fact still get chomped in the end. So what I'm thinking is maybe stay at like my mom and dad's place for a while, or like a friend or anything, just for an extended period of time. Maybe move, honestly, if I want to be completely safe. They're not going to find me. They can't, they don't know if they can access the internet, but if they do, they already have all these other options. And I feel like I'm not the best option for a skin suit? So, outsmart baby. Next is, now this one's very experimental. It's magnets. So here's the thing. They're electronic. So they're made of metal, which means maybe some of their metal is magnetic and they can actually get magnetized. If you bring in enough a big enough metal, you can just trap them all in a corner and then just walk out the building. You know? Big issue is if they have no magnetic parts. But what I'm thinking is, like phones have like gold and like I think zinc inside of them and stuff. They need a lot of metal, and some of those metals are probably magnetic to a certain extent. So if I had a strong enough metal, it could break my phone. Start of metal. Honestly, you don't even need to like magnetize them away. If you throw a magnet at their head, they could just die on the spot, couldn't they? But that's just my theory. Oh, I had a final theory for the custom night. It's how to beat the sister location, like the custom part, or like yeah, the custom night part. Just super glue the doors with like buckets of super glue, you know? Uh, Wait, I just had the thought. How would you get out? Um, I mean, look, there's probably something in the office to like pry the super glue out with afterwards. You know, after it's done, you're good. Like I feel like the only point, like you'd be on camera duty this whole time after this point. It would just be don't let your power run out and don't let the bitty babs or electro whatever's like get rid of you and you're good. And that should be it. Next one is this is really high quality. What the hell? Oh, and ignore this. This is bad on me. So Freddy Fazbear's ones. First of all is distraction. So I was thinking there are various items you could bring with you to distract the robots, right? And they're pretty much like invulnerable, so I don't know if the gun would do much, but it's a good distraction, you know? If you had like the Walter White machine and it like constantly shot the guns, they'd care more about a gunshot than a human being. You know what I mean? Even if you are the murderer, I feel like a gun is startling enough to drag you away from that, you know? Um, or a rubber ducky or a dumbbell. You could impress them with the dumbbells if they're like that. Or you could do the same thing with the gun, but with the rubber duck, but one times overs. Next is topple the robots. So I was looking at them and I was thinking, wait, these are giant metal things that move probably very slowly. If you like hit them hard enough in the head or push them, they would fall over and they don't have the joint maneuverability to pick themselves back up. They'd be on the ground until the morning. Like the only reason you die from the jump scare is because you gave them the opportunity to put all that weight on you and to give you that heart attack and do whatever, right? If you get the jump on them, who's to say you won't win? You know? Plus, a lot of the games you get what's it called? You get fired for tampering with the animatronics. So that means you can get close enough to them at a point in time where it's like where you feel like no one would be able to see that you're touching the animatronics. So it's nighttime as well, right? So you're already here at nighttime. You tampered with them already at nighttime. You could just knock them over at nighttime. Next is a water cup. So this is the same idea as the magnets from Sister Location. Just throw water on them and they'll short circuit. Like I understand they're paranormal or whatever, but like I isn't there also like some sort of ghost rule about them not being able to touch water? I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But either way, think about it from the robot aspect. They would short circuit, you know? It's like the ghost can only work with something that's working, you know? Like the ghosts can't bend uh, the animatronic's fingers backwards because that's not part of the animatronic's functionality, even though these ghosts are paranormal, right? So I'm led to believe that if the animatronics just couldn't move, then the ghost wouldn't be able to move them. And so this is what the calculations were for. So I looked at this GIF of Foxy and I did a couple rough estimations. The GIF itself, I can get exact is zero point 0.9 seconds, but the distance, I had to eyeball it. So I'm thinking this is probably a good solid, like, like 1 to 3 meters, you know? So I just split the difference because Foxy could be faster than I expect, and there's also this really weird camera angle, and it looks like there's some sort of, like not a fisheye lens, but it looks like there's some sort of perspective stuff going on. Um, so I did the calculations, take the meters per second divided by seconds, or the meters divided by seconds. Foxy's running here at around 6 to 7 miles an hour, right? And I looked it up. The average human top run speed is 8 miles an hour. And I don't know if I'm average top human speed, but from what like Google's not saying top speed, so this feels like average. I feel like if I was on like adrenaline or something, I could probably run like 9 miles per hour and then go back to the average 8, right? But if this is Foxy's top speed, and these are all the animatronics top speed, and they need that time to like process that I'm running, I could definitely make it to the front of the building at least within like 10 seconds, right? Which point, like, they would have been shocked to see me running, and maybe they'd be too animatronically clunky to move around. Like Foxy can only do this because he's running in a straight line. You see how like perfectly straight he's running in? If he was like if he had to turn and go around like tables and stuff, his animatronic bits would definitely get in the way because he can only rotate so fast, you know? Then there's Five Nights at Freddy's too. So we're starting to get into the category of game where I really don't think I would survive. And for this game, it's specifically because there's just so many things. Plus that puppet. Puppet is real annoying. So what you gotta do, firstly, get rid of the opportunity for Puppet to attack you, right? So now look at all this, okay? The flashlight to the left, flashlight to the front, flashlight to the right. They're all pointing down to things. They can't get into the vents because you're looking at them. Uh, you can't go straight forward. Actually, now that I think of this, this is kind of dumb. But what I no, it's not. You know, it's not. So this is what you do, and I should have appended to this. Always keep the mask on. Get a rubber finger, place it on the puppet so you're always winding it up, and then just have a couple extra flashlights in case Balloon Boy comes in and takes some of your batteries. You just flash it down the middle, right? If someone ever shows up, you're already wearing the mask, and you're good. You don't even have to look at the camera because the finger's taking care of it. Next, this is what I was thinking about. Just wear the mask to the exit. You know, like um, you have to be kind of quick because the puppet only lasts so long without hearing the music. So maybe um, play the music to the mask, put on the mask, grab your flashlight, and walk away. If there's Fox or something, just flash him. If it's any of the Freddys or Bonnies or Chicas, you're already wearing the mask. They can't do anything. I feel like Mango would bite you either way, so just stay out of Mango's path and walk out the door. You know, if you get out of there quick enough for Marionette to not wake up, you're good. You didn't wake the baby. Next up is speakers again. So there's a lot of rooms in this place, and I have to assume that they're only knowing where I am because I'm making hella noise with that music box, right? So why don't I just grab some speakers and throw them around the building? And that's about it. If they're distracted to other locations, they can't come to me. And lastly, I was thinking just fight back. Look how scrawny this marionette is. I understand there's metal underneath, and this is most likely made of plastic, right? But there's a couple things in this room that I feel like could be used as weapons. Like these TVs are dangerous. The fan could be picked up. I could use one. I could use like a table leg or grab a wire or like grab this light bulb. I could take a lot of things and attack these animatronics, and I feel like there's only so much metal against metal that this probably hollow bone thing for his electronics to be in will take, and then he'll die, and I beat him in a fight. Now, of course, like Toy Freddy and Withered Bonnie might be a little bit more of a challenge, but Marionette's the only one that I feel like automatically knows your position after the music runs out. So if you like hide after that, you could just escape. So next is Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So this game, let's be real, I would not survive in. This is a nightmare. Okay. Firstly is the hide in the drawer. So I was watching this other YouTuber who actually gave me the inspiration for this video, about where you could like hide in the games, and you know what, I'm gonna look at his name right now. Shit, I can't. I'm gonna pause the thing real quick just to check. Don't look at my spelling or my YouTube search history. Ooh, I gotta watch that. History. All right, his name is Insomniac Loser X. No, never. I'm sorry. It's DjScribblez. It's DjScribblez. DjScribblez. This guy. Credit to this dude, man. He gave me the inspiration for this. Oh, he went up like 1,000 subscribers. Um, I originally saw this one and this one, right? And they were great. And then I watched this one. Uh, and it just gave me the inspiration. Like, could I personally do it? Um, Going back to the thing. Yeah. So DJ's DjScribblez. Thank you. You can spoilers right now. So firstly is hide in the drawer. This was his idea, and I absolutely think it's the right call to make. These giant ass clunky nightmare animatronics wouldn't even think to check their drawers. They're stupid. They're animals, right? and if you just close the door, they won't know. Next is, now I'm a little unconfident on this one. I wrote this um, based off of a memory that I'm now realizing is probably false, right? But the FNAF 4 title screen implies there's a window somewhere in the house. Now, I was looking at this right here, and I was thinking maybe this could be behind you, but you do turn around on various occasions, and I'm most likely wrong about the positioning of where this is. But if there is a window, jump out of it. You know, like honestly, breaking your legs is better than anything these nightmares could do to you. Next is lucid dream. So it's like super heavily implied in the game, and I think at some points they just say it that this is all like a dream. You're in a coma right now, and you're sleeping, right? So I'm just thinking, lucid dream, become the master of your dreams. You know, like just delete them from existence or turn them into like good guys or something. If you're lucid dreaming, you could do whatever, and you could literally escape the possibility of dying to these guys, thereby surviving the entire game. And lastly, it was heal from the coma. So the game actually does take place from a child. Is the murderer's child who got chomped in the head, and he lost the part. He got killed because his brother put him there as bullying. And so heal from the coma. If you heal from the coma, you will uh, not be in FNAF 4 anymore, and you would survive the whole process. Now, I showed some pictures. I feel like I have to explain some of these. It's a tad obscure. So this one right here is just a man in a coma, and this is like me, but I'm like the other guy, the buff guy. This is the Flash. The Flash is super speed healing, so if you had something like he does, then you could survive by, you know, healing from the coma. I don't know how it would work. I guess your brain would recover itself. And then this is Fredbear. All right, next up, UCN. This is Ultimate Custom Night, and I'm pretty sure the last one. This one, I just wanted to wing it because you are not surviving this. Okay? Look at this picture of all the little people here. Right? We got Freddy and Chica. We got all these people here, and there is a large, almost 100% chance you're gonna die. Okay? 20, 50, 20 mode is insanely stupid as a thing to even consider surviving. If it's like 0000 whatever, you're surviving. But do you want to know something? This game is William Afton's hell. This is the serial killer of the game's hell. He's being tormented here. And if I'm in this position, that means I have already died. And it also means I am the murderer. So in like a twisted way, this is the only game you can't actually survive because you've already died to enter it. And even if you do survive, you know what you have to do after you beat it? You play it again because it's eternal hell. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you everyone for listening to my rant. I'm extremely sorry that I am like this. I would like to thank everyone, including my mother, for this opportunity. I love you. Goodbye. Tiptoe through the window.